Dennis the Menace from Macabre, and I'm going to talk to you about the Fugate drumsticks that I'm having custom made for me in replacement of the Neil Peart 747 ProMark Oak. There's a little incident with my drumsticks I've been using for the last probably 40 years or so, actually probably since like 1979, I'd say 78. I got this drumstick here, which is Neil Peart from Rush's Drumstick. It was from the 2112 tour. My brother was there and one of his friends caught it, and then he gave it to me. And since then I've used it. He actually sands it down here. You can tell he took the drain off, or took the varnish off, so it's not so slippery. Looks like he used about a 40 or 50 or 60 grit, so that's where I got that from. And he held them backwards when he played, so that's where I got that from also. And since I was a kid, used this 747 ProMark Oak Neil Peart Signature Series since I was probably, like I said, 9 years old. And they changed it to this size here, which is I have to use a hickory now. I'm forced to use a hickory 747 because the Oak ProMark 747 is no longer the same size as this size now. They changed it to this. It's not the original size that I've used. It's never changed in over 40 years. This is identical. And all of a sudden it's different weight, different width, and they said it's all the same, and it's just not. So I'm getting custom sticks made now by Fugate. They're beautiful. It's pretty much identical to what Neil Peart's stick is and my stick. The dimensions are right there. It's perfect. They're identical to what I'm using as far as the diameter. Everything is perfect. The length is perfect. The taper is perfect. It's just a great drumstick. So it's made by Fugate. And what I'll do is I'll take my sandpaper here, 50 grit. Doesn't have to be 50, but I prefer 50 or maybe 60. 50 is a little aggressive, but so now I'll go against the stick this way. Put a lot of pressure on it and get it nice and scarred up. And score it real good all the way up to about here. So this way it won't slip out of your hands. Once you're sweating, it's going to absorb your sweat. Going against the grain, it's just a good grip. So that's what I prefer to do. I got that from Neil Peart.
Hi, this is Brett Fugate, and I wanted to talk about Dennis's drumsticks. The bottom stick is the original Neil Peart drumstick that Dennis was talking about from the 2112 tour. The second stick from the bottom is the original Neil Peart Signature Series drumstick made by ProMark. This is their model 747. The third stick from the bottom is the revised Neil Peart Signature drumstick made by ProMark. And the top drumstick is the reverse-engineered original Neil Peart Signature drumstick by Fugate. Let's talk about the bottom stick first, the original Neil Peart drumstick from the 2112 tour. According to Dennis, at least for the 2112 tour, if not more tours, Neil was playing with the butt end of the drumstick. And you can tell, if you look to the left towards the tip of the stick, where the varnish has been sanded off. The second drumstick from the bottom is one of the original ProMark Neil Peart Signature Series drumsticks, and this was Dennis's stick of choice for decades. If you look closely at this stick, you can see that Dennis, like Neil, has sanded the varnish off of it. And also like Neil, Dennis is using the butt end of the stick. The third drumstick from the bottom is the ProMark 747, which is their current stick on the market. And you can tell by looking at this stick that some features have changed on it, and this is one of Dennis's contentions. For starters, look at the length. The length is shorter, and it's hard to tell from the picture, but the diameter is slightly different. And furthermore, if you look at the butt end, the contour on it is also different. And now let's have a look at the Fugate drumstick. That's the drumstick that's on the top of this picture. And you can see that the contour, the length, and the diameter on the Fugate stick are the same as the original Neil Peart stick from the 2112 tour and the original Neil Peart Signature stick from ProMark.